Hi guys, Jared here with Day Traders FX. Hopefully you guys have all had a wonderful day. We had some great movement in the market this morning. We're going to talk about that. Remember that you can get all the details at daytradersfx.com, namely liking us on Facebook, following us on Twitter, and here you can also see the updates for the daily videos. So they'll all be posted on YouTube. Lots of Twitter updates as you can see on Twitter. So definitely make sure you follow us there, and then you can like us on Facebook and get some of the same updates as well. So Day Traders FX. So quickly here, we saw that QE3 in a sense was announced again today. This time with some extra language to it. Interest rates are looking to stay low until 2015, and there's an unlimited basically amount of money they're going to put into this round of QE. So here we go. We'll see how it goes. Oil has rallied on that. Gold has definitely rallied. The Dow has rallied quite a bit, 207 points up. S&P is up a good chunk, 23. We've just seen lots of activity all over the place. So we're finally past everything, all the news for today, everything's done. Coming into tomorrow, we have a couple of announcements like retail sales out of the U.S. and the core CPI, so that's going to be one to look at. And then of course we have University of Michigan, not a huge one we look at, but retail sales and CPI should be something to keep an eye on. So watch out for that. Okay, so here's what we did on the euro dollar this morning. We were looking for this support right here to break and give us an entry, and it did break, and we did get an entry, and it ran very, very quickly. We ended up getting in just down here, and it ran really quickly, and then turned around and ran and turned around, and we ended up getting out with a 50 pip loss, which was a big bummer. But then we re-entered long right here and took it up just a little over 50 pips. So came out just a tiny bit better than break even today. Which we've had worse days, but now we have a pretty clear, concise direction of the way things are going. Here's something to keep in mind, though. The high of this candle right here is 130.01. So we just barely touched 130 and went just a tiny bit past it, and now here's the market consolidating below 130. So as we see that happening and we consolidate below 130, things are definitely looking up, and they're definitely looking like we're going to see some pretty decent activity here. A couple of things to keep in mind is we've had a pretty strong trend. Breaking these highs was important, getting above that, which is around 129.30, which was also from the high to the low of the year, breaking above the 61.8% fib. So we're really trucking. The euro dollar is not overbought yet. It's not in overbought territory, but it is in a place of some retracement could be in line. So what I'm basically looking for is I would be really careful about trying to enter something just a buy right here and trying to trade it up. I think we've got a good chance to get some retracement down into this 61.8% fib, down into these daily highs. They're a little ways away now, but not huge amounts, 50 pips give or take. So if we can get some retracement of around 50 pips, I think we've got a good opportunity to get long just around this daily pivot point, just around this 129.30, and look to take the pair long again. So that's kind of what I'm looking for at this point. I'll have more details coming out on Twitter and screenshots and so on, but at this point, that's what I think I'll be doing is getting long at or just slightly below 129.30 with stops down just slightly below 129.00, and I think we've got a good chance for that. So definitely getting rejected off of 130, and it's coming down off of that, but I think we're going to make a charge at 130 and get into the 130.50 area coming up next. So that's what I'm going to be watching for there, so keep an eye on that. Pound dollar has kind of done a similar situation. The pound dollar has bounced around and kind of struggled with some of these levels. It got really choppy here, and then it made a break for us as well. And it had kind of an ugly up and down also. And so then it ultimately ended up picking up some nice direction. Our high here on the pound dollar was 161.75, and it's been rejected off that pretty well. I'm going to be looking for anywhere between 161.15 and about 161.30 to get long on this pound dollar, right in this general area. 161.30 is our near-term support at this point, and then we've got a little bit more down here about 161.15. So again, right in that general area is where I'll be looking to get long and take this back into the highs and hopefully through the highs. You can see this pound dollar is, we're still a ways away from a double top, and I think we'll probably see that before too terribly long. We're about 145 pips off of that high of April. I guess it was April's high. So making our way up nicely there. and away we go. So that's kind of what we see happening on the pound dollar, and that's why I think we've got a good chance to get long just again around the 161.15 to 161.30 area. Euro yen has been particularly choppy. This pair went sideways for about almost 3 weeks, broke out, lots of sidewaysness, making a run. We have a big, big double bottom area right there, big wick. This thing just took off and made a big, massive run for it. And of course, that was FOMC news once again. Came down just to these lows here. And now it's coming up to the 38% fib. Now, once again, we're looking at the high to the low of the entire year, and it's just struggling at that 38% fib, which is 100.70, 73, 74, and then it's going to have a lot of consolidation and trouble around 101.20 through about 101.50 area. So it's coming into some pretty decent resistance, but I think we've got a pretty good chance to make it into that 50% fib, which is right around 102. 102.50 is kind of the next target that I'm looking for, and we're here sitting just above 100.65. So I'll be looking for some retracement down towards about 100.40, 30-40 area, back towards that daily pivot, back towards this trend line, and buying and getting long there and taking the pair on up through some of those major levels of resistance. So that's kind of what I'm looking for there. Not at this point looking for any major sell opportunities. Just really trying to get long on that pair. Same thing on this Aussie dollar. Just a quick little look at this one. We broke above on this daily or 4-hour chart. You can see it. There was a lot of consolidation right there, and we made a pretty clear run above that. That's just above 10500. So now I'm looking for this kind of retrace back to around 10520 and get long there, around 10520. So we've got about 25 or 30 pips of retracement, and then I think we've got a good chance to get long and buy that. Gold has made a crazy run. We had this big run up on gold. Away it went, and it's just way up here at 1770, holding strong. Aussie yen is actually surprisingly interesting looking. We've had some price rejection a couple of times at this 81.75 level, and it still seems to be really struggling with that. But I like the Aussie yen in that you can see that this is a big top right here. And I think if we get an open, for me, an open on the 1-hour chart above 81.75 would be very bullish, and I think we have a great opportunity to buy the heck out of this thing and take it on up. So an open above 81.75 should give us a pretty decent run above this level and help this thing kind of carry on above and beyond. Same thing, some nice little double bottoms here, some nice little putting in a solid, base, and I think we've got a good chance of making it through 81.75. So that's going to be something to look at. Pound yen really choppy. Might be worth looking at a little later on. Dollar yen could get interesting. We'll keep our eye on this dollar yen. You can see there's some trend lines and some so-ons and so forth there. CAD was a little bit all over the place. One that is surprisingly interesting looking is dollar Swiss franc. First of all, I think has got some good opportunity. It's really broken support and so on, and you can see that we had kind of a nice little bit of activity in this upper area to kind of reject that price and keep this thing heading down. So now I think we've got some good chances to trade through support. So I'm going to kind of keep an eye on that. But one thing I'm watching here as well is we had this nice run up on the euro Swiss franc, not a pair that I trade pretty much ever, and it's double topped here. We have a big pin bar. We have a lot of things that are telling us this thing could be headed down, and I think that it might just be the case. So big double tops, and now we might be cruising right back on down. This pair doesn't move much, and it's nothing that I really love to trade, but I think we've got a good chance of getting some rejection and trading that thing on down. So we'll be keeping an eye on that. Great setups, a lot of good things to look at. Best of luck, guys, and keep an eye on Twitter. We'll have some more updates coming, but we'll see you in the chat, and we'll keep trading some of these setups. Thanks, everyone.